business to go to another level. You must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Testing Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Testing Results, oh yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome to the Marketing Strategies for Drastic Results show with Tony Harris Taylor. I am so glad that you are here. I'm Tony Harris Taylor, the CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I teach entrepreneurs and franchise professionals how to get known, get connected, and get paid. I'm also a multi-unit award-winning, see them awards over there, franchisee with Network in Action, where we bring business owners together to build relationships that last a lifetime. Welcome to today's show. So, speaking of relationships that last a lifetime, you know why I love networking so much is you never know where the relationship is going to go. And today's guest is a friend that I met, I think in 2009, I want to say 9-10. And she's been a friend ever since. That's why I love networking, because it's so relationship oriented versus transactional. So you have two types of relationships in your customers. You have the relationship and you have transactions. So transactions are people who sold me these pretty earrings or this wig or whatever, right? There's no relationship there. If I want another nice wig, I'm going to go back to that person, maybe, or I'm going to go to whoever's in front of me because there's no relationship there. And I will tell you, it's been difficult to teach entrepreneurs who sell products about relationship marketing and how to get repeat business based on relationship. They don't quite get it. So if you're a product person and you're watching this, let's talk. But that relationship marketing and networking gives over and over and over and over again. And so that's why I love talking and teaching people about networking, because not only do you get new clients and new prospects, but this is where you find your friends. As entrepreneurs, we don't have coworkers. So our coworkers become our network, the people we have met at events. And so how do you formulate those relationships that they truly do last a lifetime? As a network in action leader, I often see people who met at Network in Action 4 years ago when I first started the business. They're no longer members, but they are absolutely still playing together today. How do you build relationships that last a lifetime? So when we come back after this break, we're going to meet my guest, Linda Ballesteros. Linda is a friend I met, as I said, around 2010. And even though life has happened for both of us, and she once moved away and now she's back in the Houston area, we have always stayed connected. And so I want you to meet her. She's amazing. She's a franchise consultant, and she actually works for a brand as well. So let's come back in a minute, and we're going to meet my friend, Linda Ballesteros. All right, we are back with my friend Linda Ballesteros. How are you, Linda?
I'm good, Tony. I am good. When you were talking about how we met and how long ago, it's like, oh my gosh, a lot of water has gone under the bridge for both of us over
Yes,
that period of time.
yes. And so I want to talk about, I can't even remember. I think you were doing house networking. You
I
were,
was. I
okay.
had actually created the women's group here in the Houston area. It was called Wine, Women, and Wealth. And I think, Tony, it was the very first event at my house that you showed up and I met you.
Yeah, I think it was. And that was such a neat idea. So she would have lunch meetings at her house for networking. Linda, I think I might just bring that back. Thanks for
Sounds, sounds
helping
like
me recall that. It sure don't cost a lot of money to do it that way.
absolutely. And you were talking about relationships. Relationships are so important. They really are. And I love what you said about you never know where it's going to take you. I love that too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's have you formally introduce yourself.
Sure. My name again is Linda Ballesteros, and I am a franchise consultant. A lot of people don't even know we exist out there, but I became a franchise consultant in 2016. I had been a life coach and a business coach prior to that. And in 2016, when I lost my husband, my financial advisor said, "Well, Linda, what are you going to do?" And I said, "I don't know, but I'm not done yet." And he said, "Let me introduce you to someone." So this friend of his was a franchise consultant. And it was interesting, Tony, because he started talking about what he did and the conversation that he would have with any of his franchise prospects. And the conversation was, what are your skills? What is your passion? And what do you want your lifestyle to look like? I said, you know what? That's the same conversation I have with my life coach clients. And at the end of my conversation, I would always say, go see if you can find that. We've
Mhm.
identified it. Now go see if you can find that. But as a franchise consultant, I can now open my portfolio and say, let's see if one of these 400 concepts that I have in my portfolio might work for you. So that's what I do today.
It's funny how I'm now that I'm doing more work in the franchise space, everybody's a accidental or life brought them into franchising. You know my story very well. And so I love that because you were doing life coaching. So it made sense for you to help people to find their purpose. So now, as a franchise consultant, you also with a brand too. Are you at liberty to talk about that?
I absolutely. I am with a brand. The brand is Naturals to Go Healthy Vending. I say that they are high tech vending machines. And just a few months ago, I became the company storyteller, and I have launched a podcast for the company, and I write articles, and I write blog posts, and I attend the conferences, which is a ton of fun. I really enjoy it.
Well, I love that. And then I love that it's healthy options and that's a passive income
Absolutely.
option as well.
Mhm.
And so tell us a little bit about the backstory of healthy vending.
Absolutely. Well, this particular company, Naturals to Go Healthy Vending, we've been around for 30 plus years. And it has certainly evolved. And trust me when I tell you that the vending machines that we have are not your grandmother's vending machines. They're very high tech. You run the business from your phone or from your tablet. Everything is digital. It takes all types of payments, digital payments, and it's just a great way. It's a simple business model, so it's a great way for families to build a family business that is simple enough even for the kiddos to participate in.
Ooh, I like that idea. I think I asked you about that recently for my son. We are exploring what is next for him and that vending passive income sounded like something really, really good. So we'll come back to that as well. Now, Linda, do you have a target market for franchise consulting, like women or minorities, or do you have a market that you prefer to work with?
So people that I like to work with would be people like me when I was in corporate. Just like we just said, Tony, we didn't know this existed out here. So I would love to educate those that are in corporate that have been on that roller coaster, that corporate roller coaster, and been kicked off of it a couple of times. Because I know in corporate banking, I was kicked off of it a few times. And so it will allow them to build something on the side. Maybe they want to start that side hustle, so that at some time they can jump ship, they can become a full-time entrepreneur, and finding that perfect match for them. I love working with those folks.
Okay, very good. Well, I know some of those people, and if you are one of those people, or if your family members are, please make sure you connect with Linda. So I want to talk a little bit about marketing. You have a podcast. So let's start with the podcast. And now you're doing a podcast and you've done your podcast for how many years?
Oh, since 2008, Tony. You and I both started at the same time. They were called radio shows back then.
Yeah, we started with Tony Gambone. Shout out to our brother, Tony Gambone, and Tough Talk Radio. And you're still the last one standing, I think.
I'm still here.
So how has podcasting helped your business?
So I started a podcast about 3 years ago that the name of it is All Things Franchising. And I wanted to get to know those franchise concepts. And Tony, what I found was I could much easier get in touch with the founder or the president and have him on my show or have her on my show and interview them, whereas they wouldn't necessarily take my phone call.
Oh, that is brilliant. Let's unpack that a little bit, because I'm going into the franchise space as well. So what you're saying is get them on my show.
Absolutely.
Starts the relationship. Then I can tell them more about how I can help their brand.
Absolutely, Tony. It is, you build that relationship by interviewing them, being interested, genuinely interested in what they're doing, what they're offering. But what that does, Tony, is it gives you a little bit of an inside look at their company. So when you have those conversations, you already have more information than anybody else that would call them.
And you already got the relationship.
You already have the relationship.
You want to promote?
Of course.
Woo! Gold touchdown. Now, this is airing in the beginning of 2024. So you don't necessarily start a podcast to get followers, which is a bonus. You do the podcast to get relationships.
Absolutely.
You want to sell to.
100%, Tony. 100%.
And I'm sure that is. How did Naturals to Go find you?
Well, no, I found them exactly this way. So I had interviewed their their relationship person, probably a year prior to me joining them, and just stayed in touch. And then they had some positions open on their sales team, and they interviewed me, hired me for that. But then when I was on their sales team for a year and a half, and then they created this position for me as their company storyteller.
Listen, lady, we can sign off right now because you just dropped golden nuggets. Wow. I love that so much. Thank you for that. I knew it, but I wanted you to say it. But I had not thought about that angle for me to get into franchise brands. So this is brilliant. This is going to be amazing.
Tony, I never had anybody tell me no.
I love it.
No one ever said they would not be a guest on my show.
Love it, love
Yeah,
it, love it.
yeah.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about the book we just did and how writing a book will help with marketing. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with Linda Ballesteros. All right, we are back with my guest, Linda Ballesteros. A brilliant strategy she just talked about is podcasting, or in my case, video casting for relationship building. And nobody's ever told her no. That is brilliant. But the other brilliant thing she did was this book project. Wealth Building for Franchising. In 2023, I had 5 books released, and this is one of them. And so these are the authors. Congratulations on getting this done. I know it's a labor of love doing these projects.
Thank you.
And it was produced by my publisher, Marvin Cloud. Shout out to Marvin. But why did you want to do a book?
Well, this is actually the second book I've done, Tony, on franchising. The first one was The Secret to All Things Franchising. And that was more about introducing someone to franchising. It was some of the basic concepts of franchising. But what I realized was, and it was a bestseller as well. This became a bestseller as well. But what I realized, Tony, is that there's so many people out there that don't realize you can build wealth with franchising. And that was the angle that I wanted to make sure to emphasize, because many people think, you and I both know that when they say franchising, they think of McDonald's, they think of hard work, they think of one location. But when you start expanding and going into new territories and adding on additional members, like in your case, and chapters, there is money to be made at it. And I just wanted to make sure people got that message.
Yeah, very good. Well, I was privileged to be an author in this book. Where can they find the book?
Amazon. Absolutely. They can look for it on Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm still waiting, though. We got to have our meetup with all the authors.
We do have to do that.
Yes. Yep. So we need to calendar that, because that's the only way it's going to happen. So books are another way to market yourself, get your name out there. And the value, audience, of doing a collaborative project is all these people now are marketing Linda's name. Another brilliant marketing strategy.
So let me tell you a quick little story here, Tony. One of the authors, was Laura Greenwood, and she and her husband have I'll Be There, which is a home health care service. I recently, they're in North Carolina. I recently went to a chamber meeting in the Katy, Texas area. And when someone stood up and said their name, they introduced themselves as the new franchisee for I'll Be There.
Wow.
So I was going to talk to her and ask her, getting ready to talk to her, and she said, I thought I remembered your name. I knew I recognized your name, because that franchisee gives a book to absolutely everyone that asks anything about their brand. It is a business card.
You just gave me another brilliant idea. Because I'm the queen of collaboration books. I think
Yes.
that's my 5th or 6th book, Purpose, People, and Profits. Here it is right here. I'm getting ready to do a collaboration book for franchise professionals. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Oh, Linda, you just dropped some gold. You just taught the marketing lady about how to market. And this is why, seriously, audience, this is why having conversations with fellow entrepreneurs gives you spurts of brilliance. Now, you know me, I'm going to run with this, right? I'm getting ready to do a book with franchisors talking about marketing challenges. Yes,
And it can all start with that podcast. That's where you get those people to introduce the book collaboration book to.
Oh, I love you so much for this right now. And so this is why isolation's not good for entrepreneur. Because when you're isolated, you can only think about what you think about. Somebody in the room can say something and it's like bing, 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 bing. And all of a sudden it opens the gates. And so you can't stay isolated. That's the point. You have got to show up and maintain these beautiful relationships because watch this. Because see, a lot of people think when they're networking, Linda, that it's about what the person does now or who the person is today. But I tell people all the time, have multiple one-to-ones with the same people because life circumstances change. That spurt of brilliance you just gave me never would have happened 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Right.
This was not even a thought for you.
Yeah. So true. So true.
Yeah. So what's the biggest drastic step you've ever taken in business? I know, I'll give you a minute.
Well, no, I can tell you because after my late husband passed away, I realized I had to really get serious. I couldn't just play anymore. And so my biggest step was stepping in as a franchise consultant because, Tony, I didn't know anything about franchising. So how could I talk to other people about franchising? I was ignorant myself. So I educated myself. So I read the books. And I went through the training. I got certified through the Franchise Broker Association, had all that support. So if it may be scary. And I tell people, there's that saying that says, take that next step, even though you're afraid, or even though maybe you don't see that step. Tony, there were times I didn't even know whether there was a staircase there.
Right.
But I still had that faith to take that next step. Now, it doesn't mean that I did it blindly. I did my homework.
Yes.
I studied what it was I wanted to go into. Yes. So I'm certainly not saying that you should blindly take those steps, but prepare yourself and the steps do appear.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I am just so happy you found this lane because you encouraged me when I was thinking about buying NIA. I believe you were one that said, oh, yeah, you need to do this. And then at every step of the way, I've kind of talked to you about my next thing. So we'll be having a one-to-one soon. I think it's already on the calendar. And we're going to catch up so we can help each other in 2024.
Perfect.
Tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. You're welcome to check out my website. That's Empower Franchise Consulting. It's the letter M, the word power, franchiseconsulting.com. You can email me at Linda at Empower Franchise Consulting. Follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I'm going to be putting my podcast, link to my podcast. You can check out what I'm doing, and I post there every single day. So be sure to reach out.
I love it, Linda. Thank you so much. You're amazing. I'm so grateful we intentionally stay connected over the years. I was a widow, you were a widow, you moved away, you came back, but we have always found our way back to each other.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Tony, thanks so much for the opportunity to be on this show. You do great work. I love seeing you cultivate these young, new entrepreneurs. I love it, Tony.
Thank you so much, Linda. We will talk to you soon. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with my final thoughts. Awesome. So here it is. Show up, be up, follow up to blow up, 25 short stories proving that networking works. Pick that up. You can search for it on Amazon. And so I am so grateful that Linda took a few minutes to drop those golden nuggets in my brain. Did you hear what she said? She said her podcast, she doesn't even care how many listeners she gets. I need y'all to, or viewers she gets. I need you to understand this. She uses the podcast to build relationships with people she wants to do business with. Brilliant. Don't be surprised. You can ready to see more guests that are franchisors, and you're getting ready to see more a book with franchisors. There you have it. So I love that wisdom. And it's all because we came together. So if you're an entrepreneur who is by yourself, isolating yourself, you are doing a disservice to your business. Show up, because someone in the room might have a spurt of brilliance that you can use to grow your business. So make sure you share this video, share my channel, subscribe to YouTube so you'll not miss any. You can get them dropped on your phone or in your inbox. Hit the notifications bell. And then if you're following me on LinkedIn, hit notifications there. So every time we drop a show, you don't miss it. I'm so grateful for all of my network that is supporting and helping me and my network to grow. I want to say thank you again for your viewership, and we appreciate you. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.